Welcome to Small Arms Solutions. Today we're looking at the IMI MASADA pistol. Now, over the last year or two, I haven't really seen a lot of pistols that were really interesting coming out. Pretty much everything's just been a remake of something else, or it's just been something slightly modified. Now, IWI, or Israeli Military Industries, or Israeli Weapons Industries, has made pistols for quite some time. What made them their fame was the Desert Eagles and the Jerichos, which were basically the Jericho was a CZ75 variant. IWI decided they were going to get into the striker-fired pistol business. They wanted to manufacture a modern military law enforcement pistol. And I was very anxious to see what they were going to do, because IWI makes incredible weapons. If you look at any of their Gil Aces, any of those pistols, they're very well made. The pistol was very anticipated, and everybody was waiting for it. It wasn't really until 2017 where it went into production, and really 2018 was when distribution of them started. Now, first, there's most important thing, which really amazes the hell out of me, was the MSRP. The MSRP of this pistol is $480. $480. IWI pistols are generally all over $1,000. That's just the cost. And if you look at the prices of Glocks these days, you're looking at between $5 and $6, sometimes over $6. So the price point this came in for what you get is absolutely incredible. So they're looking at the U.S. market and looking at a pistol that is combat grade at a reasonable and an affordable price. So that's, to start with, that was probably one of the things that really got me interested in it. To get some of the statistics down, you're looking at 9x19 caliber, of course. Magazine capacity is 17+1. We're going to take a closer look at the magazine. Barrel, cold hammer forged polygon barrel, 4.1 inches, 1 in 10 inch twist right hand. These barrels are not chrome plated, but I tell you, this as mirrory as this one was at brand new, I was thinking that it was chrome lined. I ended up giving Jeremy Gresham a call over at IWI and asking him, does this thing have a chrome plated barrel, because it really looked like it did. Trigger, this particular trigger was 5.5 pounds. I tested it with my military weights, and it broke at exactly 5.5 pounds. And if you look at the trigger, you have a trigger safety on here very similar to that of a Glock. And you also have a firing pin block safety in here as well. You have 3 interchangeable grip rail panels. They wrap around. You have a small, medium, and large. I actually left the original one on here, which was the medium, and it fit my hand perfectly. Even though I have relatively large hands, it still fit just perfectly. And all that's required to do this is popping out a roll pin and snapping it on there and putting the roll pin back. The sights are a standard 3-dot sight system. These particular ones that came with it are not night sights, but they are available. And we're going to get a little bit of discussion on the sights coming up as well. Trigger guard oversized for use with the gloved hands. And the slide, you have front and you have rear slide serrations on it. And also you have optics mount ready. You have a cover on here, and this does come with several mounts, so you can use various optics on it as well. So this is also a relatively new feature on a lot of combat handguns. You saw Glock just went to it. FN does. There's a few other companies that do it as well. So you're getting all that different stuff on here for that low price, and there's a lot more we're going to be looking at as well. So some of the next things we're going to take a look at is a fully ambidextrous pistol. As you see, we have an ambidextrous slide release. We also have an ambidextrous magazine release on both sides, which you do not have to remove. You can either slingshot or you can utilize your slide release. Of course, the trigger is this is also probably a quarter cock position. Striker does have a load on it. Magazines, very high quality 17-shot magazine, 17+1. They retained a metal magazine instead of a polymer magazine. You have on the floor plate ripping grooves, so you're able to grab it, hold that, and rip it out if necessary. If it was dirty, it's not necessary under normal conditions, but if you were to have an issue where you had sand in there, you would be able to have something to rip that out. So we're going to take this thing apart, and we're going to take a look at the inside, because there are some other interesting things about this pistol. So to disassemble, you lock open, you rotate downward on this is something latch release lever, pull back, and pull forward. You do have to pull the trigger to release the striker. And now we have the frame. Now we have a captive recoil spring, a flat recoil spring such as that of the Glock. Now, flat recoil springs are a much more durable recoil spring than that of a rocket wire. And the reason being is because it's flat, you have more bearing surface. You also notice it's a relatively small compartment on here where you have the recoil spring goes. By utilizing the flat recoil spring, you're able to get more coils in there and it's a more durable system. You can lift the barrel right out. And as you can see, we have a very, very high quality barrel, which you would expect. This pistol, we put probably about 500 rounds through it with some different ammunition, which we'll get into in a little bit as well. Now, looking inside of the slide, you can see we have the firing pin safety right here. We have the striker here. And like a typical IWI type weapon, you have precision machining, very, very well made. So now looking at the frame, they have their own version, basically, of the way that they have their striker system. It's not similar to that of the Glock or anything. It's its own system. But what's also interesting about this system is, just like the M17 and some of the other pistols, you have a removable chassis. To remove the chassis, you basically are just going to rotate and remove the something latch release lever. And that's going to lift right out. And as you can see, the serial number is located on the chassis itself. You can see we have a trigger spring here. We have everything necessary so we can drop this into a new frame and utilize it. So I'm not aware at the moment of any other frames becoming available, but I would expect there would be frames available in the not too distant future where you could have a smaller frame. Now, your serial number location is located on the back and is visible through the slat in the frame. Now, for reassembly, this is a little bit more complex just because you have to put everything in the proper location. For as far as the spring, there's a spot in here where the spring has to go. So now we drop the trigger component or trigger pack back into the pistol, drop it back down in the position. This is something latch release lever, and then rotate it till it locks in place. There we have it. So then we take the pistol, we insert the barrel, recoil spring assembly. We're going to take the slide, drop it on like so. And there we have it. Now, for as far as ammunition is concerned, when we went to test fire this pistol, we had 3 different types of ammunition, as we see here. We have Gecko. This Gecko ammunition fired at 1,933 feet per second. It's a 115 grain full metal jacket. We had the Black Hills 115 grain full metal jacket at 1,161 feet per second. And then we had the SIG M17, which is a standard M882 ball load or 9mm NATO load, 124 grain bullets at 1,195 feet per second. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take this pistol to the range and we're going to see how it shoots. Well, we fired approximately 500 rounds out of the pistol with absolutely no malfunctions whatsoever. Very easy recoil, very easy muzzle flip. If you notice, you'll see that you have a very low bore axis, which makes a very, very big difference for as far as felt recoil and muzzle flip. And we had, all 3 types of ammunition worked quite well. The pistol is a refined military and police pistol. There's absolutely no question about that. Excellent. We even have a loaded cartridge indicator or live cartridge indicator on the extractor. When I test fired the pistol at 25 yards, I shot a little bit low and to the left. And it was pretty consistent on everything that I did. And then I gave the pistol over to Brandon from the gun room here in Shenandoah, Texas, and he shot the center out. I made contact with Jeffrey Gresham over at IWI and said, I was shooting low. What was I doing wrong? He was saying when the Israelis made this pistol, they used the 3 dots as your aiming point, not the top of the sights. So I need to go back and give that a try. Now, I've seen some writers who would say this is the Glock killer. Well, I am not that bold to say that. Not because it doesn't have the potential, but because it doesn't have the time. This pistol still has a lot to prove. It's relatively new. You're going up against, for instance, a Glock 19 or 17 that have had, 20, 30 years of experience since 1985. They've been on battlefields all over the world. So the reality is this pistol just needs time. It needs to have rounds put through them. It needs to go through all that testing. The Glocks did, the environmental testing, and we need to start seeing how these things hold up for durability and reliability and ammunition. So I'm not quick to say right now that it's a Glock killer. It's still got a lot more to prove. I think the pistol holds great promise. The quality is there. That price point is absolutely unbeatable. For as far as anybody who's looking to start out and getting into shooting handguns, for that kind of a price point, this pistol will be very, very hard to say no to. There is nothing really that I can think of in that price point that meets the quality of this pistol. I mean, probably 2 of the best pistols in the industry right now for beginners would probably be the Knick and this. And I look at the quality of this IWI pistol versus the Knick. I think this is a much nicer pistol than the Knick. You have everything that you would possibly want on here. The ambidextrous features, a very nice trigger, your ability to put your optic on the slide, all different types. You have a good durable steel magazine. You have a good 1913 rail for any accessories that you would want to put on it. This definitely has a thumbs up in my opinion. This is a pistol I want to hold on to. I want to get some more rounds through it. I want to see how this thing holds up under different conditions, different ammunition, and report back to you guys in maybe 6 months and after we get a few thousand rounds down range and see where it's at. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you do, please click like, please subscribe, and even better, share. And please consider being members of our Patreon. Thank you.